Welcome in, everyone. NHL trade deadline day. Sorry, we're a little bit later getting on today, but so far, no moves for New Jersey. We saw Luke Glendening get claimed off of waivers by the Philadelphia Flyers. Evgeny Dadonov and Maxim Siplikov both cleared waivers. Look, with those deals going down yesterday, I think we all kind of were thinking that, you know what, maybe New Jersey here is going to go ahead and buy. I mean, you thought about it. And, you had a situation where you're taking three players, putting them down in waivers, putting them down in the AHL, hoping they get claimed, trying to create, that cap space. And that's something that, New Jersey, they're going to have to do. They're going to have to create cap space if they want to make a trade. So it will be interesting. They have all their defensemen, from what it sounds like, are out there, outside of guys like Luke Hughes, Brett Pesce, which I think we all kind of know they're not going to move on from. So, definitely you expect them to be active today. So far, no trades, but you still have 30 minutes left to go. And I think we all kind of know that it doesn't necessarily end at 30 minutes. I mean, deals are still getting announced at 5 p.m. So we'll wait and see on that. There was a big trade, though, that involves our division. New York Islanders, they get Brayden Schenn. I know New Jersey, they've had interest in the past. New York Islanders, Brayden Schenn. Islanders, they've been around St. Louis. Just like we see Jordan Kyrou. That feels like that could be a fit for sure, with New Jersey. So we'll see what they do. Maybe that's something that they'll, return to, go ahead and look back to, is St. Louis. Because look, St. Louis, looks like they're selling this year. I mean, they tried to move off of Parayko. They just moved off of Schenn. Thomas has been in trade rumors. So, I mean, when you think about it, they're definitely a team that could move off someone. Schenn, first and a third round pick. So, a first and a third round pick for Luke Schenn. Or, sorry, my apologies. Is that it? Brayden Schenn, first and a third? I didn't see the return yet. So, that would be interesting. Brayden Schenn, not somebody I was necessarily, looking to at the, last year's trade deadline. I mean, this year kind of felt the same thing. I mean, I think that they need to go out and they need to get a top six forward. If that's it, Brayden Schenn, a first round pick and a third round pick from the New York Islanders. Look, I mean, I've liked what Darsh has done with New York. He hasn't necessarily rushed things. Maybe this is something where he feels that it works out, or clearly he does. He wouldn't be giving him a first round pick if he did it. But first there, that's interesting. Thanks for dropping that in the chat there. We'll see if look, last year they were saying earlier that by 2 p.m. they only had 7 trades. They finished the day with 24. So only a couple trades so far today. They all get done late. I mean, they have to make the call to the league. Trades get announced at, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So we'll wait and see on that. Flyers claim Glendening. Yes, Glendening is no longer a New Jersey Devil. His time here ends at 52 games and 4 assists. Look, you came into the year. I think we all kind of knew it wasn't going to work. I mean, you couldn't figure out your third, fourth line center last year. And your idea was to go ahead and get a 38-year-old player on a 36-year-old player on a PTO. It worked out just kind of how you thought it would. So, New Jersey, look, we thought they were going to be active. So far, nothing. And, you come here and you think that, they have a ton of players, defensemen out here in trade rumors. They're 9 points out of a playoff spot. They make a ton of waivers last night. You felt like they were going to do something today. And I think we're all just kind of waiting on it, seeing if, they'll do something because, look, 9 points out. Season hasn't gone the way you've wanted it to. You're looking at teams around you. I mean, even Washington. Washington's selling at the trade deadline. I think that probably it was the biggest shock so far. I mean, you think about it. Ovechkin last year, or you think it might be his last year, and you go ahead and you're not even going to buy, you're going to go and sell John Carlson. I mean, Anaheim was a team that I think you felt for a couple years now could be making the playoffs, could be making that push. They've made it this year. Okay, they are in a playoff spot, comfortably in a playoff spot, and they're looking to contend. And then, yep, I see that right there. First, third, and a prospect for Brayden Schenn. Don't know who the prospect is yet, but when we get that information, we'll definitely send it over. But Devils, so far, nothing to be done so far. They've had a bunch of players in rumors. Let me know. Do you have something in the comments that you want to go ahead and say about a player who could potentially be moved, somebody you'd want to move, trade that you maybe want to make? Is there someone out there who you're targeting? Let me know down in the comments, and we'll definitely talk about it. So it sounds like the Blues also aren't done. I mean, look, Doug Armstrong, I mean, he's an aggressive GM. Whether he's going to trade away, whether he's going to bring in assets, he's an aggressive GM. So sounds like they're not done. Wonder if, you probably hope. I mean, I've definitely said it before. Devils being in on Jordan Kyrou. I mean, you see that cap hit 8.125 signed through 2031. Look, scores 30, one of the better expected goals players in the NHL. Devils struggle very much so in that category. I think Jordan Kyrou definitely could work out. But sounds like they're not done yet. So we'll see what else they might do. I mean, Schenn, first piece to fall. Parayko had a chance to be that first piece, but he didn't want to go to Buffalo. So Parayko, as of right now, remains a St. Louis Blue. We'll see on that. I mean, Devils, they were, linked to Connor Garland. Garland gets traded late last night, so no longer something to think about with Connor Garland. Look, that was someone who the Devils, they need to stay away from. That just wasn't going to work in New Jersey. They need a different type of player. They need a top six forward. And, I mean, just going out and getting, Connor Garland, a player who scored has 20-goal seasons twice in his career, 250-point years, 6-year contract starting up next year. He'll be 36. That wasn't going to work. Okay, so, that's a trade where you kind of feel okay that Tom Fitzgerald finished second. I mean, there's some times where it's okay to finish second. If Tom Fitzgerald finished second there, totally fine. But, I mean, you definitely want to see him do something. Because, I mean, you think about this trade deadline, I think a lot of us thought, this was going to be exciting. You go back up to October, November, and you're thinking you're seeing the Devils, one of the top teams in the division, and you think, trade deadline, they're going to be big buyers. I still think they buy, but I don't know exactly what it's going to be. Because, I mean, you come here now, you've had a really bad, probably 3 months now. You're 9 points out. GM's on the hot seat. Coach is on the hot seat. I do see a scenario where they do buy. And I think that's kind of what you're thinking, kind of what you're expecting. Could they move off one of these defensemen like a Brenden Dillon or, a Jonas Siegenthaler? Or, I mean, those are some pieces right there. I was good about to say Johnathan Kovacevic, but I forgot at practice this morning. He said he has no intentions to waive his no-trade clause. So if he has no intentions to waive his no-trade clause, like a ton of Devil players have, you can pretty much book that Johnathan Kovacevic is still going to be here. So Johnathan Kovacevic, probably you can take off the board. Probably not someone who's leaving New Jersey this year, the trade deadline. In terms of, guys like Siegenthaler, Nemec, Dillon, you haven't really heard as much in terms of, if they're going to be traded, when they can be traded. I think I've said it before, Brenden Dillon, he'd go quick. Teams would be interested. Yeah, it's interesting because, with New Jersey and, selling, I don't think necessarily, picks help them right now. You think about, maybe, obviously creating cap space where, that they could move off one of these defensemen and try and go get a forward. From what the reports are saying, it seems like they're very keen on trying to get, a top six forward. A top six forward, somebody who can play in that top six and strictly for the top six. And that's what it should be. So, I mean, if New Jersey's going to go in and do that, Tom Fitzgerald's going to go do that. Just pick the right one, obviously. But, that's where they should be looking, and it sounds like that's where the team is looking. Tom Fitzgerald wanting to add to our top 6. But no trades to report so far. So hoping I'd have something for you guys, but unfortunately, nothing so far. I mean, you think about it last year, Tom Fitzgerald, he goes out, he gets Cody Glass, Daniel Sprong as well. So not a huge deadline last year, and you kind of understood why. I mean, Jack Hughes got hurt. Team wasn't playing great. You knew he was out for the year. So, I mean, you understood that one a little bit more. You somewhat kind of depending on what they do, we'll see if we can make a ton of sense of it. Year before that, Tyler Toffoli goes. And then, it's been a little bit since Tom Fitzgerald's made a big trade deadline splash. I mean, you think about it, Timo Meier, that was a huge one. I mean, that was one of the bigger ones that season. But, I mean, you haven't heard anything like that in the past 3 years. I mean, there've been rumors. They've been in on this player. They've been in on that player. It hasn't happened. Hasn't yet. So, whether they're going to buy or whether they're going to sell, I mean, it's clearly, a seller's market. They're getting a lot of assets in terms of player, in terms of value that they're giving up. I mean, we just saw Brayden Schenn, 1st-round pick, 3rd-round pick, and a prospect. Nicolas Waugh, he went for a pretty nice price. So, I mean, definitely might be something the Devils want to take into consideration. Looking at Toronto up here, Toronto in their season just hasn't gone the right way for them. They lose 6-2 to the Rangers last night. They had a bunch of players scratched. It sounds like Bobby McCann linked to Colorado. That could be something to watch for. I mean, I think Colorado, from what it sounds like, they want to add a little bit more scoring up front. So they want to get another player in their top 6, get a little bit more scoring up front. I mean, they already kind of addressed the bottom 6 yesterday. Whether they overpaid, probably. But from what it sounds like, that's what Colorado wants to do. Bobby McCann being linked to the Colorado Avalanche. If we get more on that, if something comes about it, we'll definitely let you guys know. Delorier to Carolina, future considerations. I'm just announcing that one because it's in our division. Delorier to the Carolina Hurricanes, future considerations from Philadelphia. Philadelphia, look, they're doing them a favor. They're just saying, not playing here as much. Respected player in the locker room, and go and have a run with Carolina. Looks like Derek Pouliot from the New York Rangers to Chicago. Depth thing. Timothy Liljegren from San Jose to Washington. So Washington still goes and gets a player, not John Carlson, but Washington goes out. They get Timothy Liljegren after trading John Carlson last night. I mean, that's just still something that's, that was something that I don't think anyone was reporting. That John Carlson was going to get traded to Anaheim. And, Washington, they're selling at the trade deadline, where it could be Ovechkin's last season. That one was definitely, that one sent some shockwaves, seeing that one go down. But, still 17 minutes left till 3 p.m. Trades do come in after, so we'll go ahead and see what goes on there. But so far, nothing on the Devils side. Let me know down in the comments, is there anyone in specific who you want to see the Devils go ahead and move off of, or somebody who you want to see them go out and get? I've said it before, Cairo I think it's great, would be great. From what it sounds like, Nashville is looking to sell. You could return, think about Stamkos again, Ryan O'Reilly at one point. But from what it sounds like, Devils, they want a top 6 player. I've seen some reports saying it's preferably a center. Now, that one's interesting to me. I'm more so a winger. I think Jack Hughes should stay at center. I think Nico Hischier, obviously, is your number 2. So, I mean, I'm a little bit confused by it. I mean, not confused, I understand it, but I would disagree with it, I guess. I would like to see Jack stay at center, because I assume that's what they're thinking. Could be someone coming up here with New Jersey. Could be a player going. I want to keep it. I can't necessarily share it right away. I'm sorry, guys. But hang on, we might have something here with the Devils involving a trade. So we'll wait and see on that if the move gets done. But definitely something to monitor. I'll say right now. But no recent trades. I mean, Brayden Schenn seems like the big fish so far today. John Carlson so far the big fish of, when you think about the whole entire trade deadline. But outside of that, some depth moves. Maybe we're going to see a couple more trades. Yes, he did play winger in the Olympics. I mean, that's just kind of a different setup, though. I mean, you thought about Canada back in 2014. They took 11 centers. That's just, it's a different setup. And, they're just playing a different style. It's more so when you think about it with the talent. I mean, the Olympics, I mean, you can kind of play around because you can take in so much talent. But when you think of New Jersey and where Jack Hughes excels, I'd probably rather not change his position. Yeah, Dougie Hamilton, look, I think at this point, it's a summer move. If you're going to move him, I think, when Tom Fitzgerald probably more likely than not gets fired, I think that relationship can be repaired. But does the new GM want to move on from him? Does he want to keep him? That's a question for when we see who the new GM is. But Dougie Hamilton, I think at this point, feels probably more like a summer move. I mean, we haven't heard as much of, chatter around Hamilton. In the past, 48, 72 hours, we really haven't heard so much about Dougie Hamilton. So, I find it a little bit, probably not going to happen today, but we'll wait and see. I mean, there's still time. Trades will get called in later on. Devils have a ton of defensemen out there. Teams are looking for defensemen. I mean, Buffalo, we saw them pivot pretty quickly after losing out on Parayko. They go and get Schenn and Stanley. John Carlson goes last night. So, I mean, it's definitely a potential. But we'll wait and see, when we get something going here to see if Devils make a move. So far, nothing, though. So far, the Devils haven't done anything. I think there is a potential for a trade to be done, though. I do have something on that, but we'll wait and see. I got to see if it's going to, come to fruition. But there could be a potential player off of the Devils being traded out. So, I mean, look, the Devils, Tom Fitzgerald, I mean, sounded like he was going to be active. So far, nothing. 13 minutes left to go. But our teams in our division so far, I mean, Islanders make a move. Washington makes a move. Pittsburgh, Dubas has made a couple coming out to this point. I mean, you think Chinnikov, going out and getting, for Colorado, Samuel Girard. So, I mean, teams in our division have made moves. Think about New Jersey so far, it's just Andre Palat. So, Andre Palat, Siplikov, and then, going and getting your fourth-line center in Bukestad when you knew you had a fourth-line, third-line center problem all of last season. And all of a sudden, oh, wow, in February, you realize it's still a problem. Not very shocking. But no moves to report so far. Let me know down in the comments, though, what you guys would do. Is there a certain player you want to move from, move in? Let me know down in the comments. Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough. I mean, they're owners, so they're billionaires. So that it's kind of tough to move out an owner. I mean, personally, I don't have any issues with they let the Devils spend the cap this year. I mean, the Devils were allowed to spend the cap this year. For the past few years, they've been able to spend the cap. So I think it's more so, I mean, the guys in charge, the general managers, head coaches, management, who needs to do a little bit of a better job here. And, I mean, that's why they're in the position that they're in. They're 9 points out of a playoff spot. But, we thought New Jersey was going to be active today. So far, nothing on their end. We've heard, Simone Nemec. That one was weird. Because you got earlier in the week, you had saying that Simone Nemec, he's not involved in trade talks, and all of a sudden, he's involved. And all of a sudden LeBron's like, well, yeah, no, he is. They're taking calls, fielding calls. And then Simone Nemec, changes his agent. And I mean, you wonder where he is. Does he want to leave? Does he want to go somewhere else? So that may be something to follow. Look, St. Louis was reportedly not done yet. So if St. Louis isn't done yet, you definitely could say, Devils still in play to make a trade there. Yeah, I think the only way Tom Fitzgerald and Sheldon Keefe save their jobs is if they win the Stanley Cup. That's the only way I think that they save their jobs. So, yeah, I would say more likely than not, Tom Fitzgerald is fired at the end of the year. But 10 minutes ago, I mean, what do you want to call it? Unofficial trade deadline. I mean, technically it is, but I mean, calls get made in after, and we hear some more trades. So we'll wait on that. Devils so far doing nothing. Absolutely nothing so far on trade deadline day. Feels a lot like last year. Sounds like Rasmus Ristolainen, another one who isn't going to be moving today. Philadelphia, I mean, not doing a ton. A little bit kind of a similar situation in terms of points where they are in the standings as us. And looks like they're not, being very active today. So, yep, it's being reported right now. Flyers not moving Rasmus Ristolainen. They didn't get the price tag they wanted. So, Ristolainen will stay in Philadelphia. And, I mean, yeah, similar situation to us. Out of a playoff spot. Definitely some points back. And so far, both teams pretty quiet on their ends. New Jersey, though, I mean, you do wonder what the asking price is for their players. I mean, there was something saying that, Dougie Hamilton Fitzgerald just hasn't gotten what he's liked. When you think of that, trades and offers, from what it sounds like, he just hasn't gotten what he likes. So, I think Dougie Hamilton at this point probably doesn't get traded at the deadline this year. But, summertime, all of a sudden, you don't know exactly. I mean, like I said, I think we'll have a new GM. So we'll wait and see how that relationship, unfolds with Hamilton and the new GM. Does he stay? Does he leave? Do they move off of him? Probably questions for next year. But we'll see. I mean, Brenden Dillon, I think if you put him out there, I mean, he'd get taken up quick. I think you could find a deal for Jonas Siegenthaler. Nemec obviously has interest. I mean, if Tom Fitzgerald wants to make a trade here, he can make one. I mean, it's not a question of can he not? No, if he wants to make a trade, he can make one. The question is he going to? Well, I mean, unless ownership has told him, don't do anything, he can make a trade. And, I mean, he has players that are valuable to other teams. Other teams will be interested. They'll want him. Just hasn't done that. I mean, you're thinking about it. You got to clear some cap room as well. And you also, if you want to bring in a player, I mean, you better have something in place. I mean, I thought yesterday, with the waiver wire moves, there was a good chance they were going to do something, bring in a player or two. But nothing so far. And seems like we might have something. Flyers are done for the day. So Flyers are done for the day. They didn't do a ton. I think they wanted to move Rasmus Ristolainen. They just didn't get a deal they liked. So they don't do that. Another team in our division, not doing a ton or, anything major today. I mean, I know they moved on from Delorier. They made a depth trade / AHL. And they moved up Bobby Brink I forgot about that one. Sorry, guys. Bobby Brink to Minnesota for David Jiricek. David Jiricek, that situation is becoming interesting because you think about it, he makes the team right out of, the draft. second defenseman off of the board that year. And all of a sudden now he's been traded twice. Really didn't play in Minnesota. Now with Philadelphia, look, they need some more defensemen. So that's it's an interesting trade there. I mean, you think Bobby Brink, first round pick a few years back. Maybe these two players change of scenery. But yeah, that's really Philadelphia's day so far. And I mean, they need some younger defensemen, prospect defensemen, and David Juracek to Philadelphia. Okay, I mean, 5 minutes till the unofficial, trade deadline. I call it unofficial. I mean, yes, technically, all the deals need to be done by 3 p.m. But they got to call it into the league, make sure everything works out. So things do get announced past 3 p.m. But we're, from what it looks like, 5 minutes away. And the Devils so far have been quiet. No report, though, to say that they are done today. I have not seen anything saying that the Devils are done today. And there is something that I am watching. And seeing if it might get done. But, yeah, so far, nothing. Nothing from New Jersey. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think this is the right move? Stay pat. Don't do anything. 9 points out of a playoff spot. Was this the right move? Not do anything. Let me know down in the comments. Or if you have a move that you want to go in and do, see happen, go ahead. Throw it in the comments. Let's talk about it a little bit. Because, yeah, I like to see them make moves. Big Jordan Kyrou. I think, that's the perfect fit. And I said yesterday, if they move to Mets for Kyrou, I don't know exactly how I'll feel about it, if they do that. But, I mean, Jordan Kyrou is a perfect fit with New Jersey. I would do Dawson, Mercer, first-round pick, and Lenny Hemingway if that's what it would do for Jordan Kyrou. Yeah, Jeremy Rutherford reporting St. Louis still not done yet today. So, we'll wait and see if New Jersey might be involved. Because, I mean, they've been connected a little bit earlier on, with St. Louis. So, we'll see. Maybe they have something going. I mean, there's 3 minutes left. So, maybe, these teams know what they've done and just hasn't, gotten out there yet. But so far, Devils, nothing. Haven't done a thing. And, we're basically at the trade deadline. But we'll wait around a little bit because you know what? Someone might drop after. Last year I think you had to wait till like pretty much 5 p.m. to see everything that went down. Because trades, they come in later. And we'll see if something comes here. Nothing to say, though, that New Jersey is done at the trade deadline. They haven't done anything. But nothing has came out and said that they're done. So we will wait around and see if they make a move. I mean, Siplikov and Dodonov went down to the AHL earlier. Luke Glendening got claimed by Philadelphia off of waivers. So I mean, if you guys want to say that's a move, yeah, Luke Glendening to Philadelphia. And, so far the big trade in our division is Brayden Schenn to the New York Islanders. That's the big thing so far in our division. But nothing, seems like nothing crazy so far. So, we'll keep tuning in. We'll keep watching, see if anything else gets reported. I was hoping to talk about something. I was, hoping to come on here and talk about a trade the Devils made. But, I haven't even seen them linked to anything today. That's just the kind of day it's been. They haven't been linked to anyone. Starting to give a similar situation to last year where, Devils make 2 moves late. Sprong, Glass, and then nothing else. So, giving a little bit of a similar situation. Looks like another trade might have just went down. It does not involve New Jersey. Waiting to see what. I think we might have something. Maybe not. All right, I'll wait on that. Just seeing it now. Perron last night goes back to Detroit from Ottawa. Ottawa, another team that might, somewhat selling at the trade deadline. Team ahead of the New Jersey in the standings. So, you look at a lot of teams around New Jersey, they've sold. Teams that are, a little bit ahead of them, they've sold at this year's trade deadline. So, if New Jersey was going to buy, they would have been the outlier there. But it's officially 3 p.m., so technically everything has to be done. But we do get, trades get called in later. But apparently, everything does have to be done. And, Tom Fitzgerald's day is technically, if he's made a trade, he's made a trade. But here, yeah, so nothing so far. Let me know down in the comments, though. Is there anyone who you guys want to see get moved, bring in a move? Let me know down in the comments. Because, you were hoping Tom Fitzgerald would have done something today. But nothing so far as it is 3 p.m. I was hoping to talk about something. Oh, Justin Falk. Justin Falk is going to the Detroit Red Wings. Justin Falk to the Red Wings. Don't know what the return is yet, but Falk is a Detroit Red Wing. And, you think about it, Detroit haven't been in the playoffs in a little bit. They had that long streak. And, this year they got, and having, pretty decent year right behind Tampa Bay. And they go out, they get Justin Falk from St. Louis. Don't know exactly what the return is yet on that. But Justin Falk sounds like is now a St. Louis Blue. Nothing at this point so far. Haven't heard anything. Just something small, but nothing, I guess, to report on so far. So yeah, we'll wait and see on that. Hopefully Devils make a move. It's just after 3 p.m. So, hopefully they've made a move, I should say. Just hasn't been announced yet. But it's after 3 p.m. and so far, Devils, nothing. Nada. And, they're expected to be somewhat of active at this trade deadline, especially with the moves they made yesterday with the waiver wires. But, maybe Tom Fitzgerald didn't do anything. And he didn't pick a side, but that's what he had to do coming in this trade deadline. A side needed to be picked. And, nothing. No contracts moved off of. A lot of players have a no trade clause. Tough to make trades. Sounds like McCann to Seattle. From what it sounds like. McCann to Seattle. We'll see what else goes on. What's the return? But from what it's sounding like early on, McCann to Seattle. So we'll get the return on that. So recently, after 3 p.m., we've heard McCann and Falk. So I guess I would say don't completely lose hope that he hasn't done anything yet today. Because we're 4 minutes after 3 p.m. and we've seen two new trades. But so far, let me know that down in the comments. Was this the right move? Tom Fitzgerald's done for today, which means he did nothing. Were these the right moves? Let me know down in the comments. Was it right, correct, to do nothing, to just kind of stay there and, But Bobby McCann is a Seattle Kraken. Elliot Friedman reporting that. Seattle, re-signed Jordan Eberle. Shane Wright's been a conversation. Could they be moving off of him? Now they bring in Bobby McCann. I mean, Seattle, a little bit interesting. And I haven't seen anything that Shane Wright's back in the deal, and I don't think he will be back in the deal. But Bobby McCann to Seattle. Seattle trying to make a push for the playoffs, re-signing Jordan Eberle, now Bobby McCann. And we just wait to see if New Jersey's going to do something. Because, I mean, I'd rather be here on the live talking about a trade that the Devils have made. But so far, I mean, there's nothing. Nothing to report on. Really don't see them in any rumors. So, I mean, last year we were thinking about it. I forget when Cody Glass and Perron were announced, but it was after 3 p.m. So, maybe that's a similar situation. But nothing. Okay, so Tom Fitzgerald is apparently speaking in 8 minutes. So Tom Fitzgerald speaking 8 minutes. You'd probably think that might mean they're done. So Tom Fitzgerald is done. His day looks like it might be over. He's speaking in 8 minutes. Look, I mean, potentially he was told not to do anything, not to make any trades by ownership, and they just don't want to get the new GM yet. But Tom Fitzgerald sounds like they might be done for today. He makes no moves. They lose Luke Glendening. And I mean that might be. Yep, yeah. No, I mean, it's unfortunate. And something, definitely another underwhelming trade deadline. I mean, I think 3 seasons ago, we kind of thought that, Devils were selling, they move off Tyler Toffoli. But I mean, the last 2 deadlines are very underwhelming. But we'll wait and see, though. I mean, he's speaking in 8 minutes. So, I mean, he hasn't actually said that they're done. So, I'll wait till I get that report, because he's going to go on going to go on in 3 minutes. So, I'll wait and hear. If once I hear that, Tom Fitzgerald says they're done, we'll wrap it up. But I mean, if he's gonna announce something, I feel like an insider would have gotten to it by now. But yeah, I'll wait for the official word from Tom Fitzgerald to say that they're done for today. Seems like that might be the possibility, as he's speaking to the media in 3 minutes. Yeah, nah, I mean, I'm just looking through stuff. I know there's a lot of you guys frustrated. I mean, I'm frustrated myself. Absolutely nothing done today. I mean, to sell, to buy, I mean, absolutely nothing. No trade clauses, disaster. Salary cap, a disaster. And it's funny because we go back and we were thinking, just a few years ago, we were praising Tom Fitzgerald for how he worked the salary cap. He lost the plot. I mean, you think about it, they were a good, speedy, transitional team. They're not that anymore. They went too physical, didn't add enough scoring, didn't make replacements to scoring that they let go. Yeah, unfortunately, Tom Fitzgerald feels like he lost the plot. And I was never a fan of firing Lindy Ruff either, who, should be in the Jack Adams conversation this year with Buffalo, looking how Buffalo's doing. And then obviously, bringing in Sheldon Keefe. I mean, you made the wrong pick at head coach, and now you're looking at a trade deadline doing absolutely nothing, whether that was his decision or, ownership stepping in and saying nothing this year. But 1 minute, I mean, he's speaking in 1 minute. We'll probably get it pretty quick. If he did anything. I have the McCann trade here, though. It's McCann, a 2027 second, 2026 fourth, and then Seattle having 3 of each. So waiting, doesn't make a lot of. I gotta read that again. Falk went for a first, third, and Hall, and Ryan Strome from Anaheim to Calgary. So Strome goes That's unfortunate for him. Going from California weather to Calgary, and from a playoff team, Stanley Cup contender, to a team that's looking at the lottery. It's a little unfortunate. But it sounds like McCann, then a 2027 second and 2026 fourth to Toronto. And then McCann goes to Seattle. Tom Fitzgerald's just starting to talk now. So when I get the A-OK that they are done today, I mean, we can talk a quick little bit. But I think that's what you're gonna get. I think he's gonna. I think they might be done for today. It's unfortunate. I honestly thought he was gonna buy. I thought he kind of felt like he had to try and save his job, but maybe he can't even do that anymore. But yeah, so far nothing from New Jersey. Strom goes for a 2027 7th round pick to Calgary. I mean, the fact that Tom Fitzgerald didn't even, get something at the trade deadline. Do something. I mean, you think about it. I mean, yeah, trades come down late. But there was a while to plan for this. And nothing got done. It was you just think about it. Tom Fitzgerald was very aggressive early on. And the past 2-3 seasons, not so much, and a lot of wrong decisions. Trocheck was not traded. Probably a summer deal or a deal at the draft. Vincent Trocheck not traded from the New York Rangers. AJ Greer staying in Florida. Bobrovsky sounds like he's going to re-sign in Florida. I think that one makes the most sense. I didn't really see a scenario where Bobrovsky was going to get traded at the trade deadline. So Bobrovsky re-signing in Florida. Or they're going to try and get that done, and I think they'll probably not have much of a problem getting that done, even though he's not having a great year. But yeah. So if the Devils didn't make a trade today, this would be the first time since 2012 New Jersey didn't make a trade at the trade deadline. So you think about how often the Devils don't do it. Well, it happens every 14 years. But I mean, it's not official yet. Tom Fitzgerald hasn't said that they're done. But when we get that, I'll relay it over to you. But a good chance that they are done today. So would mean that they made no moves. Erik Haula staying in Nashville, former Devil. Sounded like they wanted to do. I mean, Nashville was reported that they wanted to do a bunch of stuff. They didn't do much. I mean, Johnathan Markstrom, tough contract to trade. Erik Haula, shocking that nobody had interest. I would have thought that, somebody would have probably taken a shot at Erik Haula. I mean, he's on the last year of his deal. Probably better than some of these other players who did get traded. So, I mean, Haula doesn't go. Nashville isn't able to move off of him. It might be official now. Did he do nothing? Yeah, Tom Fitzgerald, from what it seems like, didn't make any deadline moves. It makes me might think, though, that ownership maybe told him, look, don't do anything. Like, when you don't do absolutely anything, and, you're on the hot seat, everyone knows you're on the hot seat. Ownership might have just said, don't do anything. We're getting a new GM. We don't want to get a new one this year. Just don't do anything. Don't touch the team. That might have happened. Yeah, I know Cody Glass. If they moved off of Cody Glass, it would have been interesting. They have so many issues at third, fourth line center. Yeah, if you could have gotten a first, you probably do it. Yeah, I would agree. But Cody Glass is cheap. Right now he's playing third line center. So, you'd have to fill that, and you probably couldn't get it as cheap. So, it probably at a first would be, I wouldn't have done a second, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't have done a second. If you could have gotten a first, then, yeah, you would have thought about it. But, teams, they value players differently. I know Colorado and Vegas might have overpaid. Other teams might have not done that. So, But, from what it sounds like, Cody Glass didn't get moved. Nobody, from what it sounds like, got moved. Oh, so Johnathan Drouin is also in the Brayden Schenn deal. Johnathan Drouin to St. Louis from the Islanders. So now it turns into Schenn, a first, a third. Oh, sorry. A first, a third, Drouin, goalie prospect for Brayden Schenn. So Islanders gave up a little bit. Drouin, fit wasn't there. That was somebody the Devils probably should have went back at St. Louis and seen if they could have gotten Drouin. Cheaper player. Somebody I, wanted in the offseason, but I wanted them to take care of, their top six first, and they didn't do that in the offseason, and it sounds like they didn't do it at the trade deadline either. So, an unfortunate day to say the least. Nothing getting done today. Nothing new. Tom Fitzgerald, from what it sounds like, hasn't officially said, nope, they're done. Okay, so officially can confirm the Devils are done making moves today. Tom Fitzgerald says he did not have Dougie Hamilton's name out there. So Dougie Hamilton's name apparently was not out there. I don't know. I don't know exactly what to think of that. How would his name not be out there? How would other teams not be talking about Hamilton? There had to have been teams talking about Dougie Hamilton. But Devils are done. They didn't do anything. Nothing got done today in terms of making trades. So it sounds like the Sharks dangled William Eklund to try and get Nemec, but the Devils said no. That one's interesting. I'd have to think about that one probably for a little bit more, but just thinking about it, I don't think I would have done that either. I think if you have a number one defenseman, Eklund, he's been good. He's going to be a good player. But just off first glance, I don't know if I would have done that. So, but apparently Eklund and Nemec was almost a thing. And that would have been huge. That would have been a pretty big trade. You take young player for young player, forward defenseman. That would have been a hockey trade. Scott Laughton to LA. Scott Laughton to the Los Angeles Kings. Don't have the exact picks out yet. Or what it might be. Maybe there's a player involved or not. But Scott Laughton to LA. Strome to the Flames. I think we announced that a little bit earlier. Going down. But Scott Laughton, the newest one. But yeah, Devils don't do anything. Sounds like Nemec for Eklund was on the table. Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys have an opinion on that? Would you have done that deal? Would you not have? Sounds like it was a no on the Devils' end. Sounds like the Devils said no on their end. Would it have been a 1-for-1? I don't exactly have that, but I mean that's a hockey trade right there if that got done. So let me know down in the comments. Would you have done thinking that's a 1-for-1 Simone Nemec for William Eklund? Would you have done that? Let me know down in the comments. Because I mean that would have been a pretty big move to say the least. But the Devils make no moves. I'm going to be getting out of here in a little bit because can confirm New Jersey is done for the day. So Devils will not be making any moves. They'll be going with the same team, trying to get in a playoff spot. 9 points out. 9 points. And Devils don't get any help here. So unfortunately, I have nothing else to report. 9 points out of a playoff spot. Devils don't do anything on the trade deadline. If you tune in today, thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate when you guys come in, talk some Devils hockey. We got some good conversation here. So if you haven't already, go ahead, hit subscribe. We'll get some more stuff. Unfortunately, though, I don't have anything to talk about in terms of the trade deadline. The Devils did nothing. Yeah, he probably did. Probably came in second place on a few of them. But yeah, no, Fitzgerald does nothing at the trade deadline. Sound like there's Eklund and Nemec. That was a potential deal, but sounds like it was a no on the Devils' end. Nothing getting done in the trade deadline for New Jersey. It's a team they're going to have to roll into in the final 20 games. No trades to be announced. And I think Tom Fitzgerald's talking right now, so I'm going to go see exactly what Fitzgerald's saying. But we appreciate everyone who tuned in today. Hopefully you had a good time talking some Devils hockey. Definitely got some good conversation in here talking Devils hockey. Wish we had a trade to talk about. We're not going to have that this year. First time since 2012, the Devils made no trades at trade deadline day. First time. 14 years. 14 years. This season's felt like 14 years. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate you guys being in. And you guys have a great rest of your day.